is all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. What up?
What's up, guys? It's your girl Angel Marie, and I'm sitting here with my co-host Kevin. And this week we have a special segment for you guys that we are bringing back. You know that we bring back pretty much once a month at least. It is our weekly rundown, but this week we are going to call it Coffee Chat.
So, it's been a while since, I guess, about a month since we've done our last rundown or coffee chat. A lot has gone on in the world, so I'm going to try to hit on a bunch of different things, but we have to start with the election, which at the time of this recording is only a few weeks away. And just in the last few weeks, we've seen a disastrous presidential debate, a vice presidential debate, which the talk of it, for everything else that happened, was that fly that sat on Mike Pence's head for almost the entire debate, which very symbolic. Donald Trump got COVID-19 and we can't get any straight answers about when he last tested positive. There's speculation that they won't tell when his last negative test was because he may have knowingly participated in the presidential debate while actually COVID positive. So there's a lot of speculation there. He did not denounce white supremacists when he was given the opportunity definitively. He could have easily point blank done that. He did not do it. He won't commit to a peaceful transition of power should he lose. He won't state unequivocally that should the results of the election cause him to lose, that he will peacefully leave office. And he's been questioning the validity of the mail-in ballots for the entire, time where that's been sort of been promoted as the way to vote with COVID to avoid large crowds and so on. So I'm just going to ask your take this far out, this close to the election day. What is your make of the mess that is the American presidential administration right now and American politics in general? You can go anywhere you want with this. It's just, I wanted to throw it all there because it's just all a cocktail of mess.
Well, I definitely want to get your take as well because politics is definitely your forte. But for me, my views are about to be a lot less political. But I just feel like between the presidential debate, the VP debate, and just everything that's happening within their campaigns in general is literally making a mockery of politics, the presidential campaigns, and America in general. I feel like Donald Trump is literally making America one big reality television show where I feel like every other country is probably looking back at us right now and laughing their heads off because everything is a joke. I feel like nothing is taken seriously. Everything is all on Twitter. Arguments are on Twitter between Trump and Biden where people are now voting on which president is the most petty. Everyone's saying like, oh, now Biden is being on his petty level just like Donald Trump. I'm like, we should not be looking at presidents to be petty. We need to be looking at presidents who can help America make this economy a little bit better, bring value back to working class citizens. I don't know. And then the whole VP debate, all these memes that came up about the fly. And I'm like, why is everyone only focusing on the fly? Granted, I didn't watch the VP debate, so all I know about is the fly. And then everyone was talking the memes of Kamala Harris, which is like, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. And then like the little face she made, everyone's like, yeah, give him attitude, girlfriends. Like that's all everyone talked about. Like no one is really digging deep into the real nitty gritty of what can you do to help us. It's more of who's the most petty or what meme can I make out of this debate or what meme can I make out of this tweet that they just threw out. It's a big mockery. It's a circus basically. It's crazy.
You've come such a long way from a political standpoint. That was an excellent assessment of all of that. Very well done. I won't even add too much more to that because I couldn't agree more. I think that first presidential debate and really the last 4 years Forget policy and all that. Just the way Donald Trump conducts himself as president it is a mockery of the office. It's embarrassing, and for the world to see that presidential debate, I will credit Joe Biden. He tried to, I guess, keep it civil, and it is funny because the thing with Joe Biden is they know he's a loose cannon, and his campaign team is like, the whole goal, we got to make sure he just stays on script. But he did lose it for that 1 second when he just said, will you shut up, man?
Oh, yeah.
But people haven't even really come at him for that, because I think a lot of America felt like that. And I get it, politicians talk over each other a lot, but we lost out because it didn't allow, the moderator spent so much time trying to keep things in order that America wasn't able to really get to the substance of the policies. And I think that might honestly be what Donald Trump wanted, was to not have to get into the substance of the policies. The VP debate obviously, you know, was much more in line with what a presidential or a debate should be. You got to hear both sides. Whatever side you agree or disagree with, you at least got to get a general sense of what the vision was for, you know, each candidate on where we are and where we should go. The election itself that's going to be real interesting. For the first time in my lifetime, I'm not sure if the election's going to just come and go and then, you know, we'll have the new president come in. I'm anticipating there will be some real issues. If Donald Trump wins, I think there's going to be real issues. If Joe Biden wins, I think Trump and his supporters will probably do everything they can to delay him coming to office. Because again, he won't even commit to a peaceful transition. So we'll have to see how that goes. It's going to be very interesting. Are you voting in person, or are you going to do a mail-in?
I'm voting in person. I feel like I don't trust the mail-in votes too much. I'd rather physically do that in person, where I know I am pushing the button and it's going through the system.
I agree. I'm doing the same thing. I never intended to do the mail-in vote. And the thing that I'm concerned about with a mail-in vote is that there's no way to get confirmation that your vote was received and counted. I know they're saying that, you know, the system it's been used, you know, for lots of people who mail in votes, or people who are, you know, overseas serving in the military.
I feel like that's when the stakes weren't as high.
Exactly. Because the stakes are so high, I think it needs to be accurate. Whatever the result, it needs to be accurate. It needs to be right. And the only way that, as an individual, you're certain your vote counts is that you hit the button, you see that vote recorded. So, but well done by you.
Thank you.
Yeah, probably the next time we have our rundown, or when we get the first post-election rundown, I'm sure it will be very interesting.
November 4th.
You want to say it? Do you want to make an announcement or no?
No, not yet.
Okay, not yet. So, topic number 2 is something that's been in the news over the last several months as well, and the saga continues to unfold. But Tory Lanez has been charged with shooting Meg Thee Stallion during an argument in July. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office announced this past Thursday. Tory Lanez was charged with felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, personal use of a firearm, and carrying an unregistered firearm in a vehicle. His arraignment is scheduled for October 13th, and if convicted, he could face a maximum sentence of 22 years and 8 months in prison. The case is still under investigation by the Los Angeles Police Department, and Lanez tweeted on Friday using emojis, quote, "And the truth will come to light. I have all faith in God to show that. Love to all my fans and people who have stayed true to me and know my heart." And just one last little sort of thing to add on. Meg, I think it was a week or so ago, was on SNL, and during one of her performances, she had, I think, the audio of Malcolm X talking about how the black woman is the most unprotected person in American society, and, you know, had the words on the backdrop of, you know, the stage when she was performing. So, your thoughts on the arrest, Tory Lanez's comments, and again, just being a black woman in America, in that experience of just feeling unprotected
I feel like
and unvalued. Sorry.
No. I just feel like it's a lot with that situation, because it definitely brought a lot of people's true selves to light, I guess you could say, because when you see a lot of people immediately side with Tory and dismiss everything that Megan said, they're like, well, how do you know that she really got shot? It's like, well, she proved it with her medical records. It's like, well, how do you know she didn't pay the doctors to make a fake medical record of the bullets in her foot? And I'm like,
people really saying that stuff?
Yeah, and that's the thing that blows my mind, because it's like, people try to find any way to discredit what a black woman says just so you cannot have to protect her, to stand beside her, to back up the facts, basically. Back her up. And the fact that this is a whole different scenario, I guess, or side note, but the fact that Tory Lanez is getting 22 years and police officers aren't even getting anything for killing a black woman.
Well, he could face up to 22 years.
Well, yeah, but the fact that when these cops are murdering people and they don't get a charge, or they don't even get an up to X amount of years, it just blows my mind. But that was a completely sidetrack kind of situation just now. But I feel like now for him to want to speak up is also weird, because he's like, oh, well, now it's my time. Why did you wait, 2 or 3 months to finally speak out if you were innocent in the first place? And then he waits until Meg speaks her truth, and now you want to kind of rebuttal what she said to make her look like a liar. And I just hate that people feel like they even have to pick two sides. And every time Tory Lanez speaks, he always mentions Meg, like, oh, I appreciate everyone who's supporting me and Meg in this. It's like, if you felt like she was lying on you and that you didn't shoot her, why are you constantly including her in your appreciation tweets and stuff? I don't know. It just feels like he's trying to guilt trip people into it. He even posted a picture of his son a few days ago where it's like, oh, I'm going to be here for you no matter what. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue being a role model for you. So I feel like his PR team is kind of working overtime to fix his image, to make him still seem like an innocent person, and to guilt trip other people into thinking that Megan is the liar. It's like, why is it when a black woman speaks, she can't be telling the truth? It always has to be well, what about this? Or nobody was there when this happened. And everyone's waiting for Kylie Jenner to speak up about the situation. She's a private person anyway, so she ain't gonna speak up. And then in his song, well, I didn't listen to it, but I follow Shade Room, and they pointed it out in one of his songs where he was pretty much talking ill about Meg, and then in the same breath, he had praised Kylie Jenner, saying how he had feelings for her, how she was the most beautiful person in the world, and he wanted to pursue her. Obviously, he said he had feelings for Meg too, and then it went south. Who knows? But it's just all weird.
Yeah, for me, this is... I do believe everybody has their right to, have their case heard in court and defend themselves. So he has that right. But for him speaking out, it's like speaking in riddles and coded. Meg clearly said he shot her. So there's nothing that needs to be clear. The only thing that I want to hear from him, if he's going to say anything, is that I absolutely 100% did not shoot her. And then we got to let the facts play out in court. Again, that would be an extraordinary lie for Meg to say Tory Lanez shot her if he in fact did not shoot her. But again, he has the right to argue his case in court and defend himself. But anything else, knowing my heart and all that stuff, I don't want to hear any of that. In this case, either Meg's lying or Tory's lying. He's innocent till proven guilty, but in the court of public opinion, in the court of common sense, unless there's some crazy evidence that we're not aware of where somebody else did it and he's been arrested for it, it's just hard to believe that anything other than what she said happened. So I don't know what circumstances he's going to have that leads up to that. Again, the only reason I could see is if she was shooting at him first and he was shooting back to defend himself, which is highly, highly unlikely. There's no explanation. So that's why I really am curious to see what the defense in court will be, because I don't know how you defend it. I don't know what he says or what he can present to justify him shooting. And I guess the only thing he can do is argue that he didn't. But I don't know. So, yeah, we'll see how that team turns out. Again, he's being arraigned October 13th, and then probably they'll start a trial sometime early 2021, I think. But I hope she, I hope she testifies and all this stuff. Since you don't have to protect him, you don't have to, sit this one out. Testify And if he did what he's been accused of, I hope he gets all 22 of the years. I do. So, topic number 3 on Coffee Chat, or AKA the Rundown. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to see if you know why I'm specifically bringing this up.
Oh boy. Okay.
No, it's nothing crazy. But Eddie Van Halen, the legendary guitarist, passed away on October 6th. Now, probably a lot of our audience is not familiar with Eddie Van Halen, who is, one of the top, when they talk about top guitarists ever in rock, you've got like Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Slash. Eddie Van Halen's right up in the top 2 or 3 all the time. And he passed away October 6th. The reason I'm bringing it up is because he's got a connection to your favorite artist of all time.
Michael Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Was he the one who played Black or White?
Nah, that was Slash.
Oh,
so
okay.
Eddie Van Halen was the guitarist for Beat It. And that famous guitar riff is him. So just a quick little story. First of all, I guess in an interview he said that Quincy Jones called him and told him he wanted him to, play the guitar on the Beat It track. And he didn't believe it was Quincy Jones. He was like, yeah, whatever, cursed him out. And he was like, no, this is really Quincy Jones. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. He didn't really believe it was him. Because he was like, why is Quincy Jones calling me? So anyway, so the quick little story he said that after hearing the initial version of the track, Eddie Van Halen asked if he could rearrange the song and add a pair of solos. And as he was finishing that, Michael walked in. And he said, I didn't know how he would react to what I was doing, so I warned him before he listened. I said, look, I changed the middle section of your song. Now, in my mind, he's either going to have his bodyguards kick me out for butchering his song, or he's going to like it. And so he said, Michael gave it a listen and turned to him and said, wow, thank you so much for having the passion to not just come in and blaze a solo, but to actually care about the song and make it better. So Michael Jackson fans have actually been showing some appreciation for Eddie Van Halen over the last, but I wasn't aware of that story. I knew he played it, but I didn't know Michael gave, how Michael's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So for Michael Jackson to let you change the original version of the song and then hears it and says, let's go with that, that shows
That's a big deal.
But no, I love it when two greats, because again, one of the greatest guitarists ever and probably the greatest performer ever. I love it when two greats come together and then you've got an all-time song. I mean, Michael's got hits after hits, but Beat It's right up there.
Oh,
and
of
actually,
course.
Was that the first or the second single release? No, Billie Jean was the first single. I think Beat It might have been like the third single release from that album. So anyway, legendary stuff, but rest in peace to Eddie Van Halen.
That was a good one. Good
Really?
job. That was.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So, number 4 on Coffee Chat. I thought this was interesting, and this will be real short. Do you know somebody named Kane Brown?
Kane Brown?
Yeah.
No.
I never heard of him either. But he is set to host the 2020 CMT. That's the Country Music Awards. No, listen.
Oh, okay.
He is biracial. His mother is white, and his father is black. He is the first person of color to host or co-host the Country Music Awards. Now, we know how country music is not only viewed as probably the furthest from black music that there is, but also the connotations that go along with country music, the people who listen to it. Some of it, a lot of it's unfair to paint them with a broad brush like that, but even how when Lil Nas X came out with Old Town Road and there was some, backlash, it seems like, oh, it wasn't country enough to be part of the Country Music Awards. But do you think it's a step forward to see a person of color, a black man or a biracial man, to actually host probably the whitest music genre that there is in popular music?
Yeah, because that's almost like a rock music awards show or something. But, it's like the black culture originated half the genres that are out in music anyway. Jazz,
country too, it does
country,
have,
yeah, jazz, country, blues, obviously hip hop. It's pretty much it is black owned in a way, but it turned into a dominantly white genre. But hey, the more the merrier. Break the barriers, make headlines, I don't know. Become the first.
There you go. All right, so I'm not gonna watch, but
Yeah, me neither. I don't even know who the guy is, but
I never heard of him either.
congratulations.
I saw the article, I saw the picture, I said, whoa, okay, kind of give me like Patrick Mahomes vibes. You know Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, half lap. Well, okay, all right, moving on then, we'll move on.
Well, gotta go.
And number 5 on the Coffee Chat, aka Rundown list. I don't know if you've seen this, you probably have, but have you seen the celebrity voting ad? It's got a group of Hollywood celebrities who are naked. It's only showing them from like, you know, their upper chest up. But it's, the PSA is to bring attention to naked ballot laws, which require voters in 16 states to place their mail-in ballots in 2 different envelopes, one inside of the other, and in a specific order for their votes to be counted. The ad features a naked roster that includes Tiffany Haddish, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, Chelsea Handler, Naomi Campbell, Mark Ruffalo, Sarah Silverman, Josh Gad, and Ryan Michelle Bath, as well as Borat, who's fully dressed in it. And the whole point is to implore voters to take the necessary steps that they need to when voting by mail and urge them to drop off their ballots or mail them ASAP so that they're counted and they're done correctly. My question is your thoughts on, because my thoughts on the celebrities doing these, like, it's almost cringy a lot of times because they feel like there's some self-importance, like because, oh, these celebrities got together and did this ad, I'm so moved that I'm gonna vote.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts on celebrities thinking that they have that kind of influence?
It is a little bit annoying at times, and it's like you're putting yourself on such a high horse where you're God in a way, where, because I feel like that's in general where, because like I said earlier, how I follow the Shade Room and I see the things that they post. Literally almost at least once a day or once a week, they'll share a post from a celebrity where it's like, oh, so-and-so stepped into the Shade Room to remind you all that you should get out there and vote. It's like, okay, I get it that a celebrity is endorsing this, but it's like, why is it that because a celebrity told us we should go follow? Like, I feel like America, or just this whole social media society, is so wrapped up into the celebrityism, if that's even a word, or just the whole socialite situation where a celebrity or an influencer feels like they have that much pull to kind of get you to listen to whatever they say, as if we're robots and we follow anything.
Yeah, like I wasn't gonna vote, but because all these celebrities got on camera naked and told me it's important, now I know it's important and now I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it's a bit extreme.
And one other thing that I also find funny, because you hear people saying vote, 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 vote.
Mm-hmm.
What they're really saying is vote for the candidate I support. Because a lot of these celebrities are assuming that everybody who supports them or that they're trying to encourage is supporting the candidate that they likely support. I'm sure all of these celebrities are supporting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but you may have, like, for instance, Taylor Swift recently endorsed Joe Biden or whatever, but I'm sure she's got a lot of fans because she kind of started country anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's got a lot of fans who probably are Republicans or Trump supporters and are going to vote that way. So it's just funny when celebrities assume that, like, all of their fans or the people who are, you know, following them vote one way. So when they say vote, do they really mean vote or do they mean vote for my candidate?
Yeah.
Because if that's what you mean, you might as well say it. But it's just funny that they assume that all of their fans and the people who like their music or their movies have the same political leanings and therefore are going to vote in the way they want. So,
interesting point.
Yeah, the celebrities, they're really out of touch and tone deaf in my opinion, and they're talented people, but they're no more knowledgeable about these issues than the everyday person. In fact, they're probably a little less knowledgeable, especially not experiencing the day-to-day struggles that you have. So I tell people, you need to vote based on, like, your principles, your beliefs, not what a celebrity tells you, and whatever issues are most near and dear to you, that's what you base your decision on. So to recap this edition of Coffee Chat, aka The Rundown, number 1, the election is just a few weeks away and every day seems like something new pops up. So I'm certain in the next few days there'll be even more surprises. So we'll see how that turns out. Number 2, Tory Lanez has been arrested and charged in the shooting assault of Meg Thee Stallion. Number 3, legendary guitarist Eddie Van Halen, who Michael Jackson fans, aficionados would remember his work on Beat It, one of Michael's iconic tracks. He passed away October 6th. Number 4, Kane Brown, who many of us don't know, I didn't know him, is the first person of color to host or co-host the Country Music Awards. And number 5, their celebrity ad where the host of celebrities, Tiffany Haddish, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, were naked and encouraging people to vote by mail-in and trying to bring awareness to making sure they follow the process and do it right so that their votes counted. And that is the recap of Coffee Chat. So that's been a while. Did we hit a wide range of topics?
We definitely did. I feel like since we always do our rundown every few weeks now, it kind of like has to make everything as well diverse as possible.
Yeah, this approach I take when we were doing it weekly, it was a little easier because sometimes I'd say, okay, let me hit a theme this week or whatever. What I try to do now is, since we're only doing it once a month, I'm like, all right, if an alien landed on planet Earth and was like, what's going on in its entirety? I try to hit a broad range of things so that it's not just focused on politics or entertainment or sports. I try to touch a little bit on everything, so just to give the general climate. And then of course I'll have something that's just light and not important in the grand scheme of life, so it doesn't feel so heavy when we come out of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Good job.
So I try. You do all the heavy lifting, so when I have to do the rundowns, which is once a month, I gotta try to do a good job because she does all our other content. She develops the ideas and all that stuff. I don't know if the folks know that. Let me give you your flowers on camera. Angel Marie is our content creator. All the wonderful segments, all of the ideas, it's all her. The only thing I do is say, that sounds great. That sounds great. Yeah, let's do that one. But she develops it all. She comes up with all the content. So I don't know if folks know that, but let me shout you out. She is a wonderful content creator. All of this stuff that you guys come to know and love is all her.
Thank you. Humble brag. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the end of our Coffee Chat, aka our weekly rundown. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. You see, we did have our mugs with us. But if you guys like what you saw,
empty.
Whoops, y'all ain't see that part. We're just gonna pretend, use our imagination. But if you guys like what you saw, definitely let us know by giving us a thumbs up below. And as well, if you guys thought that any of the topics that Kev brought up were interesting enough, if there's something that you want to chime in on, if there's something that you feel like was so important this past week that we did not cover in our Coffee Chat that you would like to bring up, definitely let us know by hopping into our comment section below. We love to hear your thoughts and we always respond back. And last but not least, if you guys like what you saw and you would love to see more, which we know you do, definitely hit that subscribe button. That is how you stay up to date with everything that is going on with Angel Marie and Kevin and all of the above, so you will never miss a beat. But that is the end. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We will have so much more coming for you guys later. I'm your girl Angel Marie, and I'm sitting here with my co-host Kevin. See you guys next time.
See you guys next time.
Wednesdays at 7, Angel Marie and Kevin playing the illest records, bringing us back together. Philly is all season, storming through any weather, leaving the track bleeding. Where we pull it.